All right, so welcome again. Thank you all for chiming in. We're doing our study sessions to review in preparation to take the state exam. We've gone over, we went from lesson 1 to approximately lesson 6. And so this page 25 is where we should begin today. Hopefully we can get through a good segment and then we'll be able to go back and do a little recap and go over some of the things that we went over before. Okay, so as you can see here, insurance, what should I know? What is permanent whole life insurance? What is permanent whole life insurance? And so whole life and permanent is used interchangeably. So when it comes to the test, they may reference it as whole life, or they may say permanent insurance. They're both the same thing. So look up here, it says cash value policies where premiums and coverage occur until age 100. The cash value is graded toward age 100. So we talked about that a little bit. A whole life policy, of course, we know that we sell term. So if anybody asks you, what type of insurance do you sell? We sell term insurance. This is the seller for whole life. Whole life policies, in most cases, come with what's called cash value. In other words, their selling point is you can borrow from your policy. You can borrow from your policy and pay it back. The little catch, I won't go into this in great depth, but we'll learn more about this later, that the seller is, well, the hidden agenda is you can borrow from your policy, but if you borrow from your policy and you don't pay it back before you pass, then it's going to be whatever you owe is going to be deducted from your face amount, and whatever's left would be given to your family. Okay, so Becker, you mind muting your phone, baby? Okay, so at age 100, the cash value equals the coverage endows and the policy ends. So the policy ends at 100. Keep that in mind. Just remember that about a whole life policy. Number one, it holds cash value. Number two, it ends at age 100. Okay. Some people prefer their premiums to be paid up. So limited pay whole life was introduced while keeping all the whole life features. So now they got to spruce it up a little bit more. Okay, now you got whole life. So some people want to just go ahead and pay it up. So then they added limited pay whole life. That keeps all the whole life features. Everything that I just explained about the whole life, it has cash value and all of this. But it says whole life monthly premiums are smaller than limited pay or single premium. Is smaller than limited pay or single premium. Why? Because it stretches all the way out to age 100. We don't have to think about it that much. The whole life policy are smaller than the limited pay and the single pay because it stretches all the way out to age 100. Limited pay can be called 10-year pay, 20-year pay, or paid up to age 65. Those are the type of limited pay policies. You don't want to think too hard about that. Limited pay, 10-year, 20-year, okay? Paid up to age 65. The most drastic form of limited pay is single premium whole life. That's the most drastic form of limited pay, single premium. So single would probably be referring to one premium, right? All right. So it says insurance. What should I know? Permanent insurance miscellaneous. So what are some other things about whole life policies? One, modified whole life and graded premium. What about it? Premiums are lower in the earlier years. You see that? That's probably mean that's going to do some changing. Premiums are lower in the earlier years of the policy, okay? Now look at this second one. jump in juvenile, jump in juvenile. What is a juvenile? A child. Or a state builder. So on the test, you may say jump in juvenile, or you may see a state builder. Those two terms are used interchangeably on the test. It may say jump in juvenile, it may say estate builder. Is a whole life issue on a what? A child. Okay. Now, when the child reaches age 21, the face amount or the proceeds that's going to be left to the family, it's going to do what? The face amount of the insurance policy automatically jumps. Jump in juvenile, right? That face amount automatically jumps 5 times, regardless of health and at the original age price. So that is a jump in juvenile, jump in juvenile. That policy at age 21 is going to jump up 5 times without having to redo the health question. So whatever that child has developed, any ailments, any sickness, any diagnosis that may have occurred over that course of time, they're going to jump up regardless to any health problems. Okay. Then you got industrial life. Now, when you hear the word industrial, it sounds like something tribocious, something big, but industrial life is the opposite. It's opposite from the way it sounds. The policy's face amounts of $1,000 or less, industrial life. So remember that. I want you to hear my voice and remember that about the industrial life. Industrial, when you think about industrial, you think about something big, something gigantic. But when it comes to insurance, it's the opposite. Industrial is policies or face amounts that's $1,000 or less. Premiums are collected by agent on a weekly or a monthly basis. Okay. Now, monthly debit, ordinary insurance policy. Monthly debit, ordinary insurance policy. Remember, we're talking about whole life policies or permanent policies. Okay. Some of the characteristics of a whole life and a permanent policy. Face amounts are higher than the industrialized premiums are, and they are not collected weekly. Monthly debit. Face amounts are higher than the industrialized premiums, and they are not collected weekly. Okay, just find you a little catch, a little something in each one to help you identify with that when you see it on the test. Okay, variable is stock market. Everything is fixed. Okay, look at the next one. Variable life. Stock market. You know the stock market fluctuates. Stock market whole life, death benefit does what? Fluctuates. It floats. That's why it says variable. You ever hear a variation? It's a variation of this and that. Okay, variable. It's going to fluctuate, but it's never less than the original face value. All right. Insurance. What should I know? Permanent insurance again. There's so many different characteristics of whole life policies, so many different ways that they present themselves or the way they behave. Okay. Now look at this. Joint life policies pay only once. Joint life policies pay only once. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this. We went over this last week. I'm going over it again. Listen at this. Joint life policies pays only once. Joint life. What is this? Can be term or permanent. You see that? It can be term or permanent. It covers what? 2 or more lives. And then it does what? Pays the beneficiary. Listen at this. When the first person dies and the policy ends. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's go back up. Okay, it said it covers 2 or more lives, and then it pays the beneficiary when the first person dies and then the policy ends. The survivor may choose to I thought we was already covered. May choose to purchase life insurance without proof of insurability within a limited time. Wow. Okay. So joint life, remember that it pays the beneficiary when the first person dies then the policy ends. Now listen at joint life second to die. Second to die, joint life second to die. It's probably going to be talking about the second person, right? Let's see. Joint life second to die, survivorship life. That's another term. They work together. Those two terms mean the same thing. Joint life second to die can be term or permanent, cover 2 or more lives. Listen at this. Pays nothing when the person dies, and when the second person dies, the policy pays the beneficiary. Was that a bag of confusion, or was that a bag of confusion? At this, it can be term or permanent, cover 2 or more lives, pays nothing when the person dies, and when the second person dies, the policy pays the beneficiary. Wow. Flexible feature life policies. Flexible feature life policy. These are some of the things that we're going to talk about. Adjustable life, universal life, variable, universal life, equity index life. As I said last week, this is so tedious. Oh my goodness. All of these different terms. But we're not going to stress over the things that we can't change, right? We're just going to grab something that we need to know in order to pass the test. Adjustable policies can be term or permanent. Adjustable policies can be term or permanent. They allow changes in premium, coverage, and the length of the policy, but do not allow change of insurance. Listen, you need to remember here where the changes are not allowed and where the changes are allowed. It allows changes in the premium, the coverage, and the length of the policy, but who is on the policy or the insured, the person that's being insured, cannot be changed. Okay, simple, right? The most popular adjustable life policy is universal life. Universal life. Universal life premiums are flexible in every way, so it can behave like a death benefit policy or a living benefit policy based on the amount of premium paid, and it ends at 95. Universal life, you probably want to remember that 95, right? It endows at age 95. Universal life, the premiums are flexible, right? So it can behave like a death benefit or a living benefit, okay? The cost of insurance is charged to the cash account, and the current interest is credited to the remaining balance. This is done every month, every single month. The cost of the insurance is charged to a cash account, and then the current interest is credited to the remaining balance. This is done every month. When the cash value of the universal life reaches 0, the policy goes down. It goes into that 60-day grace period. So when the policy zeroes out, it's going to go into a 60-day grace period, okay? Universal life contracts can be surrendered at any time and can have front or back end loads, and as well as other loads. Back end loads cause a service charge. All right. Insurance, what should I know? Here's some other things about universal life. Variable, universal. Stock market. Remember, when you see variable, think about stock. Stock fluctuates, okay? Stock market, universal life. Excess premiums placed in sub accounts. So variable, universal life. Stock market, universal life. It says excess or extra premium is placed in a sub account to invest in the stock market. Variable. When I see variable, I want to think about stock, because stock fluctuates, okay? The excess premium is placed in a sub account to invest in the what? The stock market. When I think about variable, I'm going to think about the stock market, and variable universal life is an account set aside to invest in the stock market. No guaranteed cash. Variable life values, cash values are determined each day by the what? Up and down of the stock market. Premium for variable universal life can vary in amount and payment. You see how that just goes in your spirit? Variable, stock market. Give yourself those keywords to help you remember what you need to remember, okay? It's going to be determined. The cash value is going to be determined by the up and down of the stock market, okay? In addition to a life license, a securities license is required with the NASD. So when it comes and you start talking about stocks and bonds and investments and annuities and these type things, you can't do this with a life license. You have to have a securities license. Well, why is this even on our test? Because you have the ability to go higher in your business, and the higher you go, you have to obtain the securities license, okay? And once you pass the securities test, that's when you can become your RVP, have your own base shop. So that's why this is on the test, because you're going to come in contact with this type of information as you go up the ladder and as you're promoted in the company, okay? Equity index, whole life. Death benefit is guaranteed to be no less than the policy amount. It could be more. Death benefit is guaranteed. Equity, death benefit, equity. Think about it, you're getting something out. The death benefit is guaranteed to be no less than the policy amount, but it could be more. All right. Entire contract and policy owners' right clauses. All of this stuff is relevant, okay? Beneficiaries, got to know about this. Incontestable, you need to know what that is. Misstatement of age, suicide, free look clause. All of these things play in a role in insurance. Grace period, you need to know about the grace period. Reinstatement, automatic premium loan, assignment, and exclusions. This is just giving you a rundown of what's up, what we're getting ready to cover, okay? Accelerated living benefits options of viatical settlements, okay? Now, let's talk about beneficiaries. Beneficiary is the person or entity that gets the money or the proceeds when the insured dies, okay? Now, we covered this before. A beneficiary can not only be a person, it can be an entity, okay? It can be a business, right? So a beneficiary can be a person or entity. This is the person that will receive the proceeds when the person that's covered or the insured dies. Primary first, okay? When you're doing your application and you putting your client in, you're going to ask them the question, who would you like to be your primary beneficiary? That means who would you like to be the first person? If something happens to you, who is the first person that you would like to list to receive the proceeds? Okay? And then you got the contingent. That's dealing with the second, okay? Receives a death benefit if the primary is not alive. Now, this third one, the third level, we don't have third level on our policy. It's only the primary and the contingent. But this is they're going to receive the monies if the primary or the contingent are no longer living, okay? That option is not usually on our app. Okay, insurance, what should I know? Beneficiaries continue. What is a revocable beneficiary? We talked about this, right? One that can be changed by the policy owner. What is a revocable beneficiary? Listen to me real good. One that can be changed by the policy owner. Listen, you want your beneficiaries to be revocable. Why? Because they can be changed by the policy owner. Well, why are you saying that? Listen to what we're about to say next. Irrevocable beneficiary, what is that? May not be changed by the policy owner without written permission of the irrevocable beneficiary. Did you hear what I said? An irrevocable beneficiary says that you cannot make changes to your beneficiary without written permission by the person that you want to move. let's put it in layman's terms. The person that you want to change, the person that you no longer want to be on your policy as the person that will receive the proceeds. If you have listed them as an irrevocable beneficiary, you have to get their permission first. Do we want to have anybody as an irrevocable beneficiary on our account? Probably not. But you know, hey, life is about choices, right? So we want to remember that the difference between the revocable and the irrevocable beneficiaries. Minors as beneficiaries. Minors may be beneficiaries, right? But with the following phrase, hold on account with interest until a specified age. Yes, you can put your children as your beneficiary, but just know if something was to happen before that legal age, the monies are going to be placed in an account until they're old enough, until the specified age, and that can vary from company to company. Okay? Estates or a trust can be beneficiaries. Entities, estates, they can be beneficiaries. All right? Class beneficiaries. You can leave a business as your beneficiary. Okay? Per capita. It's got the word cap in it. So we're going to think about head, per head. Monies are divided between all surviving beneficiaries. That's so easy. Per capita. When I see per capita, I'm going to think about per head. And that's going to make me think, that's going to be for every living or every surviving head or person, right? Okay, per sterpes, Latin to the root, monies are divided between all, listen to this, designated beneficiaries, deceased or living. Deceased or living equally. If deceased, then heirs receive the funds. So when you're dealing with per sterpes, remember it's heir property. It's an heir policy. So it's divided amongst the living and the dead. And if you're deceased, it goes down to your heirs, okay? Uniform Simultaneous or Same Time Death Act. Uniform Simultaneous Death Act. According to the state law, if insured and primary beneficiaries are killed in the same accident, the person that is insured, the person that they listed as their beneficiary, both pass away at the same time, it is always assumed that the primary beneficiary died first. If there is no proof to the contrary, the death benefit bypasses the primary beneficiary and goes straight to the contingent. That's easy. That's easy, okay? Anybody can stop me anytime you want to stop or you want to elaborate on something, okay? Insurance, what should I know? Insurance policy clauses, okay? Spendthrift. Chapter 7, that prevents the beneficiaries from squandering the monies. You can add a clause that's called a spendthrift. Okay, think about the thrift store. You kind of, taking it easy with the monies, right? You can go to Bel Air Mall or you can go to the thrift store. Okay, so spendthrift. That prevents the beneficiaries from squandering the monies. So you have the power while you're alive to add the spendthrift clause and say, hey, I want to put some stipulations on this thing so they can't fly through that money, right? Another settlement option example is interest only. Leaves the principal on deposit and pays out the interest on the monies only. A spendthrift clause cannot state that no payment be paid to the beneficiary at all. So that's going to be easy to remember, right? Misstatement of age. I think it just told on itself. Misstatement of age. If discovered during life, premium will be adjusted either up or down from the date discovered to reflect the correct age. It just told on itself. If discovered after death, the death benefit paid to the beneficiary will be adjusted up or down to reflect the face amount at actual age. Was someone trying to say something to me? Okay. Grace period. Last 30 to 31 days. Grace period. It's time for your premium. Something happened. your premium was not paid. Okay, my policy is going to lapse. I didn't pay the premium. Not right away. You get a 30-day grace period, okay? Last 30 to 31 days after which the policy lapses. So once when that premium is not paid, you have 30 days to address the situation. Okay. Reinstatement clause. Reinstatement. This allows the policy to be reinstated if 3 years has not elapsed. All back premiums plus interest is paid with proof of insurability. You see what that said? That said with proof. Now, we read earlier about the jump in juvenile that they can jump without proof of insurability. But with the reinstatement, it's with proof of insurability. So it's best to keep your policies in force and not let them lapse in order that they have to be reinstated, because now you got to prove the insurability again. So if you've developed something during the course of time that your policy lapsed, that's going to be factored and that's going to be taken into account before being issued again. This is a great way to think about never letting your policy lapse if you can't help it. If you can help it. Suicide clause. Listen to this close, because people have this question. Suicide clause. What if somebody commits suicide? If 2 years have not elapsed and suicide is committed, the company will void the policy. No claim will be paid, and the premiums will be returned to the beneficiary with no interest. After 2 years, benefits are paid in full. What did you just say? Wait to 2 years to kill yourself? That's what they just told you. That's what they just told you. Wait to 2 years. Right? Right. Don't do it before 2 years. If you do it before 2 years, they're going to give you those premiums back and not going to acknowledge it. Incontestability clause. 2 years. Incontestability clause. 2 years. The company cannot contest or challenge a claim on life policy that is enforced continually for 2 years. Did you hear that? If that policy is enforced for 2 years, the company cannot challenge a claim once it's been enforced for 2 years. Makes sense? Insurance, what should I know? Types of assignments, absolute or total or gift. Policy owner transferring all policy rights to another. Absolute, okay? We're talking about types of assignment. Remember this, absolute and collateral, right? Absolute or total or gift. That means it will use one of the three. It may say absolute, it may say total, it may say gift. What does that mean? Policy owner transferring all policy rights to another. So absolute, absolutely giving it all over to you. Absolute, that means all the rights are given over to someone else, okay? Collateral, what is collateral? Collateral or partial or temporary, all three. It can say collateral, it can say partial, it can say temporary. Policy owner transferring what? A portion of the policy rights to another, normally used for debt. Okay, so just know the difference between those two. Absolute, I think it just told on itself, all the rights. And then collateral, what? Partial, a portion of the rights. Common exclusions. Common exclusion include, listen at this, war or military service, aviation, private airplanes, hazardous occupation or hobby. Once you start writing the app on a person, there's going to be a question and you're going to ask them, hey, do you like scuba diving? Do you like racing motorcycles, snowmobiles, aircrafts, all these exotic, dangerous risk? Are you a risk taker? Well, they want to know that, because if you're a severe risk taker, you're going to be excluded. It's certain risks, even though insurance began with one word and that word is risk, some risks they don't want to take, right? So hazardous occupations or hobbies, accelerated benefit rider. This is why on the application it asks so many questions. When you get in a policy and applying for insurance, like what does that have to do with anything? Because that tells the insurance company some characteristics about you, how you behave, and what type of risk you take to see if they want to take a risk on you, right? So listen at this, accelerated benefit rider. So accelerated, when you're in a car and you put your foot on the gas, you accelerate, right? You're speeding up. All right. Accelerated benefit rider allows the terminally ill insured to collect, bring that money to me right now while I'm living, right? Accelerated benefit rider allows the terminally ill insured to collect a portion up to 2/3 of the face amount of their policy. That's so easy. You're going to remember that. Accelerated car. Put the gas on it. Speed up. Okay, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to speed this money up. It's not going to happen after my demise, but while I'm terminally ill right here, right now, I can collect up to 2/3 of my face amount right here on earth. Policy does not have to be repaid. If recovered, it is deducted from the face amount. Applies to both term and permanent policy. What does that say? It says, if recovered, it is deducted from the face amount. If you get a miracle, pay us back. All right. Policy options. Dividend options, non-forfeiture options, settlement options. This is important. This is dealing with the proceeds and how their characteristics. Life insurance dividends or return of money to the customer from leftover surplus. Here's another tedious section, okay? Dividend options, cash out, dividend money paid directly to the policyholder. Cash out. That told on itself. Cash out. Money paid directly to the policyholder. Don't think on it. Paid up. Paid up edition. Paid up. Policy dividends used to purchase additional pay of insurance. Okay? Accumulation at interest. Policy dividends are left with the company to gain what? Interest. All of these statements tell on themselves. Cash out. Money goes straight, paid out to the policyholder. Paid up addition, policy dividends used to purchase additional paid up insurance, okay? Accumulation and interest, it told on itself. Policy dividends are left with the company to do what? Gain interest. Reduce premium dividend. Reduce what it means? Subtract, take away. Dividends used to do what? Reduce the next premium. That was easy. Tedious, but easy. Policy owners does not forfeit cash in lapse policies. Non-forfeiture options must be given to policy owner. Non-forfeiture options, cash surrender, okay? Cash value of left policy is sent to the policy owner, okay? Cash value. So if a person surrenders the policy, whatever cash value, when you surrender the policy, whatever cash value of that was left is sent to the policy owner. That's what cash surrender means, okay? Reduce paid up insurance. Reduce means to subtract. Paid up means to pay it in advance. So let's put it together. Cash value of a lapse, talking about a lapse policy. Reduce paid up insurance. Cash value of the lapse policy, the policy is lapse, is used as a single net premium to purchase a smaller coverage policy of the same type. No further premium will be due. Just think about it for a second. Reduced, paid up, reduced, paid up. This is referring to a policy that's already lapsed. The policy's cash value is used as a single net premium to purchase a smaller coverage policy, okay? Extended term insurance, extended term insurance. Cash value, we're talking about lapse policy. Notice that these are lapse policies. Cash value of the lapse policy is used as a single premium to purchase a paid up term policy for however long the money can carry. So however much is there, that's how much it's going to be used to carry the term coverage, 6 months to 18 months usually. Okay. Insurance, what should I know? When the insurer dies, receiving a death benefit in a form other than a lump sum is called a settlement option. Okay, when someone dies, this is referring to how are you going to receive the money. There are options. Either you're going to get a lump sum, which is everything at one time, or here are your options. Interest only. The beneficiary receives just the interest. That's an option. Fixed. The money plus interest is paid out to the beneficiary over a fixed period of time until it reduces to zero. You see what we're talking about? The beneficiary, this is their choice. This is their settlement option. How do you want to receive your settlement? Fixed amount. A fixed amount of money plus interest is paid to the beneficiary until it is all paid out. You see those choices? You're going to remember that. That's so easy. An annuity can be used as a settlement option, such as life income, refund life income, a certain life income. Okay, that section is dealing with how the monies are paid out to the beneficiary. They can receive it in one lump sum or interest only, fixed amount, which all of these are telling on themselves, okay? Policy riders. This is important. These are different attachments that is added to your policy. You got waiver of premium. Bye-bye premium. If I become disabled, I'm saying bye-bye to my premium, but my policy will still be enforced. Waiver of a premium. Keep that as a reminder. Disability income. That's probably going to be dealing with if you're disabled. Payer riders, accidental death and guaranteed insurability rider, terms rider, other insurance rider. This you're going to get, it sounds like nothing now, but once you get in the field, it'll all make sense. Other insurance rider, cost of living, okay? Now, waiver of premium. If the owner becomes totally and permanently disabled, the company pays the premium for the customer after 3 to 6 months wait. Must use benefit by age 60. So you have to use the benefit by age 60. Waiver of premium. Okay. Disability income pays a monthly income if the owner of the policy becomes totally or permanently disabled after 3 to 6 months. You see those time frames? After 3 to 6 months. Okay. Accidental death benefit. If death is by accident, pays an additional death benefit above the face amount of the policy. That's so easy. You're going to remember that. Accidental death and dismemberment pays if the insurer dies from an accident and becomes dismembered. You see how all 4 of those things just told on itself. It tells you what it means. When you read it, you just know what it means. Payer, okay? Payer used the juvenile policies if the owner dies or becomes disabled. It pays the policy until a covered youth reaches adulthood. Actual age varies from company to company. Payer is used for juvenile. If the owner dies or becomes disabled, it pays the policy until a covered youth reaches adulthood. That's what a payer means. Guaranteed insurability. Listen at this. Pre-qualifies the individual for additional insurance as specified ages and amounts for additional premium. The stork provision of this rider does not cover a child. Note the picture of the stork, and you see the stork carrying a baby. They want to let you know that is not covering a child. it provides that the insured may purchase insurance on his or her life in anticipation of the next option date within 90 days of the birth of a child. So go back and go over that. Marriage would also allow the individual to purchase additional insurance in anticipation of the next option date as well. Okay. Accelerated benefit rider. We talk about that. Brings the money to you. Up to 2/3 of the face amount can come to you while you're terminally ill. Other insured term rider is used to purchase additional insurance on the policyholder or another insured used with both term and permanent. Other insured term, you see how easy that is? Other insured. Okay, just talk about adding more insurance on someone else. Cost of living rider allows the insurer to purchase additional insurance based on the consumer price index. Easy peasy. Increase in term rider refunds the premiums paid or pays cash value on top of the face amount. Increasing, getting more money, refunds the premiums paid or pays cash value on top of the face amount. Annuities. Annuity basics and fundamentals of retirement plans. Transition into another section dealing with annuities, and we're just a little shy of our hour, so we'll go until we get to our hour. Insurance, what should I know? Annuity, a savings account. Give me 1 second. I think what I want to do, I'll do this page and this page, and then we'll do a recap, okay? Insurance, what should I know? A savings account with an insurance company that can be converted to income for life, okay? A savings account with an insurance company that can be converted to income for life. Annuitants, the person puts money in the accumulation period, with the time that the money is being collected. The accumulation period account value is the account value in a variable annuity is measured in terms of accumulation units. So you got the accumulation period, the time that the money is going in, and it's done in increments or units. The money is paid out to the annuitant as income for life, okay? So that's dealing with when you're using it for income for life, annuity period, okay? And annuity period is when it's distributed, okay? Annuity period payment options. So just like the settlement options, you have annuity period payment options. Life annuity, okay? Straight life, no refund annuity. Company takes accumulation, the money that was accumulated, money in exchange for an income for the rest of the annuitant's life annuity. So just remember that for the rest of the person's life, the company is taking that money and using it for the rest of that person's life. These are set options for annuity. Refund life. Company takes the accumulation period money in exchange for an income for the rest of the annuitant's life with a refund minimum guarantee at death. So think about the refund check. Hey, at the end of the year, you get a refund check. Okay, you get refund minimum guarantee at death of at least the purchase price payable to the beneficiary, okay? Refund life annuity. Okay, life annuity with period certain. It's probably going to deal with increments of times. Life annuity with period certain. Company takes the accumulation money in exchange for an income for the rest of the annuitant's life with a minimum guarantee at death of a certain number of years payable to a beneficiary, such as what? 10 years. This is where that period come in. 10 years certain or 20 years certain. So look at those three: life annuity, refund annuity, life annuity with period certain. Okay. Life annuity with period certain is probably everything that a life annuity is, with the exception of periods or sections of time. It's easy. You grab a term and you find a way to remember it. Okay. Immediate annuity. Immediate. An annuity that bypasses the accumulation period. So it don't have to take time to accumulate. Accumulation, collection, right? Gathering. Annuity that bypasses the accumulation with a lump sum of money and immediately goes into the annuity period. What's the annuity period? When it's distributed. Money can be received monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, but no longer than 1 year. Okay, no longer than 1 year, no longer than 1 year. Immediate annuity. What does that mean? Immediately. Does not have to accumulate. It comes out in one lump sum. It just told on itself, just told the whole story. Deferred annuity. Deferred. What does deferred mean? Deferred means put off. Hope deferred make the heart sick. I like that scripture. Put off. Hope put off makes the heart sick. Okay. Deferred annuity. An immediate annuity or level premium annuity that starts to pay what? After 1 year. Deferred. After 1 year. Usually in the distant future. See that? Put off. In the future, such as retirement if the annuitant dies before receiving any money. A death benefit must be paid to the beneficiary. You see that? Immediate annuity. Right now, bypasses the accumulation period. Deferred. Deferred means to put off. So it's going to be in the future after 1 year. Okay. Annuity or pure endowment contracts can be reinstated within 1 year from a default of premium. Insurance company may terminate a deferred annuity if no payment is received for 2 years and the pay up benefit is less than $20 per month. So we've gone to the 49th section. Nikki, if you on, would you text me 49? Just put 49 in the group.
I got you.
Okay. And for the newer ones that just came on, I'm just going to do a quick one. I know we're right at that hour and I don't want to hold y'all any longer, but I just want to do a little quick recap. Okay. Remember about the studying of the test, or when you're before the test and it's time to take the test. And it says that you want to read each question at least 3 times before answering or selecting your answer. Read all 4 answer choices before selecting the correct answer. Okay. Watch out for words like not and except. That's going to change the whole dynamics of what's being asked. You got to watch out for not and except. Do not change your answer unless you find it in another. Don't go through your test and just, oh, you know what? No. Answer it. Leave it unless you find it somewhere else. If you are stumped on a question, mark it, move. Don't spend a whole lot of time because you're in a time frame on one question. Mark it, come back to it if you have time for it. Use the process of elimination to do away with 2 wrong answers. Look at those answer choices. Look into them. Now that don't even make sense. What they got to do with anything? Boom, you got 2 answers to choose from. Pick that right answer. Think about what's being asked and answer that question correctly. Okay? Dealing with risk, law of large numbers. We talked about the law of large number. We said that this was the ability to accurately predict how many deaths would happen in the space of time in certain age groups. Okay? We talked about types of insurance: domestic, foreign, alien, non-admitted companies, right? We talked about all of that. Dealing with risk. It said the world of insurance begins with one word. That word is risk. Insurance deals with one word, risk. What is risk? Risk is the uncertainty of loss, the fact that something could go wrong that could cost money. Do you see I'm looking at y'all in the eyeballs and I'm saying this stuff? It's plastered in my brain. Insurance deals with one word. That word is risk. What is risk? The uncertainty of loss, the fact that something could go wrong that's going to cost money. See how easy that was? Insurance does what? Transfer the risk, okay, from one person to several to keep one person from being burdened down. I promise you, when you see this on the test, when you see this question in your, you can pass, you're going to remember what is being stated, okay? Life insurance, a way of spreading the cost. I just said that, spreading the costs associated with a person's premature death among many people to keep one person from being burdened. What is life insurance? It is based on an imaginary person who dies at age 100. Law of large numbers. By studying millions of deaths over many decades, it's possible to accurately predict how many people would die in each year within age groups. See how easy it is? Law of large numbers, dealing with death, the fact that you can actually accurately predict how many people would die in certain age group, okay? A life insurance policy creates an immediate estate. The money becomes real upon death. Okay, so immediately you have an estate when you have a life insurance policy in place. Needs for cash. What are some needs for cash? Final expenses, burial expenses, medical bills. This is why it's good to have a good term policy, especially when you got two households and both of those households, both of those incomes are taking care of the household, because when one person dies, immediately that household is in a strain. Why? Because one of the breadwinners just passed. So having a good term policy does not replace that person, but it helps you take care of what? Final expenses, burial expenses, medical bills, debt repayment, credit cards, car loans, home insurance, mortgage, education for your children, emergency fund. I want you to know why you're doing what you do, why you're becoming a life agent, okay? All right, let's go to the next screen. I'm trying to push as much as we can so I can get out of y'all way. Types of insurance company. We talked about stock company, mutual company, fraternal. What is that? Stock, the policy owner is owned by stockholders. Mutual policy holder owns the policy. Fraternal, they sell amongst themselves. You have to be a member. That's so easy. Okay, the answer, where is the insurance company home? Where is the insurance company home? That question can be answered depending on where the company is. Okay, if it's a domestic, a foreign, or alien. We talked about that. Domestic, what is that? Somebody tell me, what is a domestic home office?
In the same state.
In the same state. What about foreign?
Another state.
In another state. And then alien.
Outside the U.S.
Outside of the U.S. Aliens are from outer space, right? That's what they say. Okay, an alien insurance home office is outside of the U.S. That's easy peasy. Okay, insurance. Companies are either authorized or unauthorized. Authorized or admitted, used at the same time, one or the other, authorized or admitted, approved by the insurance commissioner. What is unauthorized? Somebody tell me. An unauthorized company.
Illegal.
Not approved.
Not approved by the insurance commissioner. That's right. Okay. Remember, the Lawyers Association is saying that they insure each other's, write each other's risk, but they're not a what? Insurance company. Okay, we talked about the surplus line. The companies are brokers that are allowed to operate in Alabama. Okay, and they got to have a what? 50,000 bond. When you see surplus line, remember $50,000 bond. Okay, rating organizations, they grade companies. Okay, include AM Best, Moody's, Finch, and S&P. Okay, or either AAA. I mean A++. We down to 1 minute, y'all. Okay, elements of a legal contract. Elements of a legal contract. What are the elements of legal contract? What are the elements of a legal contract? Competent party. You must be competent. You must have a sound mind. You must have a legal age. That age in the state of Alabama is what? 15. Legal purpose. It's got to be a legal purpose to write insurance on somebody. It can't be no funny business, right? Okay, offering acceptance. What is offering acceptance in the world of insurance? When we submit the application, that's the offer. When the policy, the company issues the policy, that is the acceptance. That's so easy. Consideration. Consideration when dealing with insurance is referring to money.
Can I ask a question about the age?
Definitely.
Okay, so they say the legal age is 15, but yet we can't write a policy for someone to their 18 as far as if they're not, and not an adult. How does that work?
That is a very interesting question. And then the other thing is, as you stated, children can only, now this is not the case with every company. Okay. This is with Primerica. Primerica, some companies you can insure a child and you do not have to have an adult. So that's where that would come into factor, because it varies from company to company. Okay. But with Primerica, we only ride children. So children can only ride on our policies. But with other companies in the state of Alabama, term and whole life, you can just write insurance on a 15-year-old with no problem, and they don't have to be a rider. And so
Thank
that's
you,
where
ma'am.
that comes into play. It varies from company to company.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I'll stop there. Anybody else have any more questions? And we'll pick back up on Saturday. And just go back and look over your study book. Looks a little different from my PowerPoint. My PowerPoint is done just to break it down to make it a little bit more open. But let's go back over it. Let's meet again this Saturday. Lord say the same at 12 noon. I want to thank everybody that chimed in tonight. And I did record it. And so as soon as it's released back to me, we'll put it in the group me for you to get it and listen to it. And if somebody else on the team that didn't make it, it'll be accessible for them as well. Anything else? Any more questions before we close tonight? All right. Well, thank y'all so much. Okay, y'all have a blessed evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.